you want me to hand these out?
Sure, yeah, that'd be great. Have a little bit of an addendum, just a small little addition to the previous packet. The library, you know what we do. We don't save lives like the PD. We don't work in the heat like parks and streets. We don't keep the public informed about current events like the public information officer. We don't balance the budget like the finance department. We don't run the city like Crystal and Mr. Ray. We don't listen to perps plead their case like a judge. But what we do, we do with a lot of pride. We keep the public fed with knowledge. We supply them with information. We teach and entertain. We provide answers, and we offer technological literacy. The only thing that I ask is for you guys to go out there and talk us up. Word of mouth works so well. Okay, I'm also asking for $5,000 extra for books. But, yeah, I mean, it says it up there. I don't have much else to add. Aside from the new projects that we're working on, I had a meeting today with some outside organizations about a senior day that we're gonna be planning. Now that senior day, it's gonna be, the main goals are to fight isolation, offer support, keep them active, and make them feel like they're more part of a community. A lot of them are homebound, and they don't have anybody to talk to all day, so we're trying to bring them together. We're gonna take advantage of the art bus and bring them to the library, explain to them what resources they have available to them, and then also provide a craft or something, an activity for them to do, whether it be physical, to keep them moving, to keep their minds moving, or a craft to do, manipulatives with their hands. Another new project that we have on the horizon is the 500 pairs of solar eclipse glasses. I created a proposal for programming for the solar glasses that include chalk art, astronomy, creating a protective case for the solar glasses, space lessons, shadow tracings, building a solar oven, 3D models of the Earth, Moon, and Sun. And I'm really excited about that. I'm sure y'all have seen a lot of information about the solar eclipse. It's gonna be huge. And I'm really excited about this. So I think a lot of people in this area are very excited as well. The established programs that we've already got, y'all already know, Storytime, the summer reading program. So time and time again, I hear from my Storytime moms about how attending our programs have helped their children become more socialized and ready for school. So that is something that, I love Storytime. It's my favorite thing. But also, we have the summer reading program that's every year. And the summer reading program had a great turnout this summer compared to last year. Last year, I don't know if y'all remember, but we had just hired 2 new staff members, so I wasn't sure. I was in the middle of training, and let me just say about those 2 new staff members, they're amazing, and I couldn't do my job without them. They're fantastic. They've changed so many things. They've brought so many, I can't say enough about them. But anyway, so we did have excellent attendance at the summer reading program. I attribute that to your library's warm and welcoming environment. If any of y'all have ever gone in there, you know that the staff is super ultra friendly, and the patrons leave the library happy. They leave the library satisfied, and they leave the library getting the answers that they need. They have everything that they came to get. So, yeah, that's all I got. I encourage you guys to come visit the library, see what we're doing. We've got a lot of stuff going on.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Do you have any
Council, do you
questions?
have any specific questions?
In order for young kids, remind me again, how do they get a library card? They have to have an adult, right? Because y'all need proof of
Yes.
residency or something?
Yes, correct.
So, if you have a flyer, I'd like to take to my campus, and maybe we can reward our ELR to get like a free 100 if they go and get a membership or.
100%.
library card. So if you wanna
Oh,
bring those, I will promote
I
it.
can email it to you.
I will promote it for you.
Yes, that would be amazing. That would be super fantastic. I'd love that.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah.
So many of these items, many of this stuff can be brought into our library just by partnerships. That's one example there, so I don't know if we, sat down and visit with HEB, with, all these other, entities out there to help you utilize and bringing in these possibly new books. I know that HEB at one point donated to Floodius so many books as well, so might be something, I don't know if you're currently doing it or not.
So HEB helped with the summer reading program immensely. I couldn't have done the summer reading program party without them. They brought HE Buddy, they brought a cake, they brought a ton of prizes, and just lively activity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that we might wanna talk to Ernie, cause I know that there's probably several grants out there that can utilize for the library as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Jennifer, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
you. Wow. Who's that? Go ahead.
Crystal, you up?
City Secretary?
You need to go there?
Everybody drive through?
I can present from here if you don't
Nah,
mind.
well,
I can do it.
Whatever, Jennifer, they're like.
Yeah, I got it.
This is the page down. And then your little arrow. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
I'm not gonna ask you for a dump truck or a hot kettle.
Hot kettle.
I'm not gonna act like I know what it's called. I am asking council to go ahead and help me finish what we have started together. There you go. That's, a little taste of the madness that we have currently going on. In the first bubble, you see that is, half of our vault. That's what it currently looks like. There's a couple of boxes behind that stack that you see. Go ahead and go to the next one. This is currently a part of what is at the library. So when I say that I need your help to complete our project, you initiated the first step by approving the retention schedule. So now we're going to implement it as staff. Purpose of records retention is to ensure that records are kept as long as legally and operationally required, and that obsolete records are disposed of in a systematic and controlled manner. Now, we have what is called a retention schedule. We're going to go ahead and utilize that. I actually met with majority of my department heads this morning and reviewed each step. You will not believe how many people said, I can't get rid of so many things. So people are excited, our staff is excited to go ahead and, as Mr. Ray said, free the files. Go ahead and get rid of the unneeded waste. Know when to hold them, stow them, or throw them. That's what our retention schedule pretty much does for us. Lets us know what we can keep, how long we can keep it, and when we need to get rid of it. Next.
Don't forget your quoting Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. That first part, yeah.
You and Kenny Rogers.
So this is our basic timeline right now. We've accomplished the first one, council approval. Second, I do still need to meet with the library and PD. Some of our PD staff was not available, Ms. Amy mainly, for today, so we're gonna go ahead and set up the rest for tomorrow. Again, we're gonna go ahead and develop a schedule sometime next week, within the next couple weeks actually. A lot of us are going to take a field trip over to the library and get to sort through our 1930s documents that we have sitting there. Now, of course, we will save some of them because they do have historical value. But yeah, a lot of it, old utility bills, stuff like that, no one wants to see that, we'll go ahead and get rid of it. Shred-it is the company that we're hoping to go through. They are utilized in a lot of our entities here. I think the county utilizes them as well. This is a service provider to be utilized in 1 or 2 off-site purges. This is gonna be the most cost-effective and most efficient form of destruction that we can utilize. So the plan is we will have 2 pickup stations here at the annex building and then 1 at the library. They have agreed to waive the cost of those separate pickup stations for us. Again, records are constantly created, but with education provided, and city staff is confident a backup of this magnitude will not occur again. Again, Shred-it has the pickup options on a monthly basis I already talked to a bunch of the department heads. We've already kind of figured out what receptacles we'll need. Those will be monthly pickups. Once you put it in there, you cannot get it out of that little lockbox. Next. Okay, so this first two pictures, that's finance's fault. We have a little room that they've kind of tucked accounts payable and some of the time sheets and stuff. The first two pictures of Amanda's. The bottom, again, is another section of the library. That's our big project right there. That's where I'm gonna take every department head, we're gonna go and sort and fish out what belongs to who, and then we're gonna sit down and go ahead and go through each page and see what we can get rid of and what we have to save.
Is that in that community room?
Yes.
That's part of the part of what we did when we actually were still looking, part of where all that came from, it's a combination of where a lot of what we got was out of the old police department. A lot of that's there, is from there. There's, I guess what Crystal mentioned, you have the annex building across the street. We're building our files here. We have, what other am I missing? I don't know, library, I don't know who else.
Boneyard is Texas,
I don't want to.
wastewater treatment
I don't want to tell you what the boneyard looks like, but it looks like a boneyard. But it's a significant amount of, I mean, Chris was not kidding when some of this dates back to probably the 40s, 30s. We've had it for several years, and it's a lot. It's a lot to, what I wanted to point out to the council is this, as you can see, and again, it takes up space, it takes up our space that we could be using for something else. In this case, we've had that in there for over a year, year and a half. We've had it in there over a year. And so once we, our goal, at least my goal is to, once we find to destroy the records and then manage them better, is to free up that space for other things. I know that Jennifer mentioned, class something for the elderly. We have the facility. I just want to make sure that that's clear. We have 2 offices. Well, I'd say 2, maybe 3 offices there, and the conference, this community room. So the goal is to free up this space to be able to use for other things, and that's what we're shooting for. I hope we can get it done. I'd like to get it done by the fall, but I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot to look at, a lot of stuff to dispose of. It's several years. So, but we would like to entertain in future, hopefully in either this budget year or next year's, is doing something with that space other than storing that.
We're tired
Crystal,
of that outside.
where is this budgeted? Where is the expense?
I believe it is under other professional.
Other services?
Yeah, there's services.
Wow, so it's just, you've got an increase of roughly about 20,000.
Yes.
I mean, that sounds pretty inexpensive considering.
It's a lot.
Yes, this first leg will be a lot cheaper. The next leg will be the actual scanning. And so what we want to do is go ahead and remove the bulk of everything that is not necessary, so we can focus in and hone in on what we can get done.
And scanning will be this year too, or this budget year, or that'll be next budget?
Some scanning there, but
Yeah.
scanning is expensive.
It'll be a portion. Yeah, the first thing we would like to tackle is gonna be the maps and the plats. That's our bread and butter. That's what we wanna make sure that we have preserved first. And then after that, we'll go ahead and do the administrative files.
So really, this shredding, you've got about a $20,000 increase expense, is that what you're?
Correct, yes, so that's what's utilized for the house.
That sounds, for all work out, it sounds inexpensive. I mean, expensive, but I would have
When you
thought.
see it in
a little-
person, you'll
Crystal,
understand.
on the 1930s or 40s, you said you found back there, what was the water bill, like $7?
Believe me, you'd rather want that bill. You wouldn't want the paycheck that you see though.
Yeah.
The paycheck back then was like 50, 60 bucks. Okay? So to find the comparison, it's wild.
See, there have been pay increases.
Yeah.
Every year.
It's insane. We have everything imaginable in that room right now. We haven't come across anything for
Maybe you
PDO.
should do like a poster, a historical,
Mhm.
thing. Where did they have that in Washington? Remember they had that, where back in the days,
This
they
is
have
what-
all that stuff like that?
We
They
can
even
definitely
have
find it in there.
They even have the salaries at the boat over there in Corpus,
Uh-huh.
where when the Navy people first started back in the years,
Uh-huh.
to now the salaries, and I was like, wow.
Well, council, there was anyway, I don't wanna take you long, but when they opened the council, when they opened the capsule, a 50-year capsule, someone had put the budget for the city, and it's almost made, but the budget was less than 200,000, 50 years ago for the whole city. And there was like 30 employees, 200,000. Now, that may have just been admin side, it may not have been the utility side. But anyway, it's less than 200,000 and there was 30 employees.
I would like to have something historical like that done.
Oh, believe me, we can find it in the handwritten ledgers.
We're gonna
that
do
have
that
the
on
budgets.
page of historical.
All right, any other questions for our city secretary? Basically, it's not a whole lot of an increase, about $12,000, yeah, $22,000. Okay, let's put it in here, nothing big. Okay, city manager, who's next?
Who's next?
That is going to be, oh, I was last. It's utility. Oh, no, it's you.
Oh,
It's
good.
you.
All right.
Sorry,
No,
sir.
no, mine is really.
I can give a quick spill on
You know,
finance.
go ahead, James.
Okay. So I don't have a presentation or anything, but our budget actually went down. So ours was 443 before, now we're at 415. The real big number is the 90,000. We're trying to bring TCM to Encode. So TCM is a scanning document for our Encode, our accounting system, to where it'll take the documents right in. Because like Crystal says, I mean, finance, we do print, burn a lot of paper, and it would be good if we could incorporate it into our financial system to where it automatically stores it as a repository for all our documents, and then we can search them a lot faster instead of digging through files. And of course, it'd be good for us, and then the auditor can find it as well. So they'll have access to it. And then also for our merchant service, to upgrade our merchant service, our credit card systems and all that for the customers, the city, you know, to provide better service to them. So that's probably just our biggest number. Other than that, pretty much the audit stays the same, consultant, pretty much all the others are little numbers. But that's a big number for finance. As far as, you know, we're trying to better our services for the community.
Well, yeah, folks, not many departments drop in total expenditure, so James, thanks for finding some savings in some spots there. Very, very excited about what you're doing for our financial department and how hard you're working. I know it's a busy season. Come here, audit season, budget season, and by the time you get done, it'll be audit season again, or almost. Anyway, any questions for our finance director?
That's all I got.
All right, James, thank you. Fred?
Here after this, and then we'll jump into, unless there's anything else, we'll jump into utilities. We'd like to knock out utilities tonight if we could, so we won't have to meet tomorrow, unless y'all really want to meet tomorrow. That'll be Hector was all utilities, so after this will be, just that we hope to try to keep that, we try to have y'all out by 10 o'clock, how about that? On my end, I wasn't going to go over the entire budget. I do want to highlight a couple of things. The administration budget has gone down, okay? I went over some lines, just kind of small there. I'm not gonna get into all that I wrote up there, but it is something that on, things that I wanted to make sure that we're clear on. There's some items there that people sometimes ask, well, what is a consultants and what are these contracts and why are we budgeting this stuff for? We budget our permits and inspection services through administration. So folks that are doing work for us right now, BB&A, the folks that do the permits and inspections get paid out of that fund. It's hard for us, it's been hard for us to determine a budget for that simply because we've had projects that have been bigger than normal. We've had projects that are big commercial projects. So the fees that we have to pay these folks is bigger. So we have a school district did a project, I believe the value on that, it's based on value, I think they did a value, the value was $14 million, was it? Total?
Correct.
It was a $13 million project, so again, that increases our revenue, what we're bringing in from what we charge for permits, but it also, on the expense side, it makes it, we have to pay out more as well. City attorney's fees are also paid, there are other legal services excluding fees paid to the city attorney is also budgeted. You can see that line item, I believe, I think there's $45,000 budgeted for that. I'm not sure on that. Yes, that's budgeted $45,000. There may be some, I would hope we don't see